It's an astonishing fact that we serve and worship a God who is infinite hospitality, who himself lives a life of hospitality, with the Father welcoming the Son, the Son welcoming the Father, the Spirit being the welcome and also being a place of welcome for the Father and the Son. But there's a great mystery too with the fact of creation, that creation becomes an extension of God's hospitality. And Jesus, as I said in the last video, comes to restore creation as that place of hospitality. And he comes by sharing hospitality, comes eating and drinking. In contrast to John, who comes fasting and mourning, Jesus comes eating and drinking, and wherever he goes, a meal breaks out. At the beginning of Luke, he sets his entire ministry under the heading, under the rubric of the Lord's welcome. He quotes from Isaiah 61, "The Spirit of the Lord is upon me. The acceptable year of the Lord has come." Joshua Jipp, in a book on hospitality of the New Testament, argues that that phrase, the acceptable year of the Lord, can be translated as the year of the Lord's welcome. That's what Jesus has come to do. Extend the Father's welcome so that the wayward creation who's been excluded from God's house and God's festivity can be welcomed back in. And that's not abstract, that's concretely, specifically what Jesus does through his entire ministry, especially in the Gospel of Luke. After he announces the year of the Lord's welcome, he goes from place to place, eating and drinking. He goes to the house of Levi, a house of Levi who's just a converted tax collector, and he eats there. He goes to the house of Simon, a Pharisee, and he eats and has a feast there. He goes to the house of Mary and Martha, and he eats and drinks there. Everywhere he goes, Jesus is a guest, and if he's accepted as guest, then he becomes a host who shares his bounty with those who've accepted him as guest. This is extended in a somewhat different way in the Gospel of John, where John comes as, Jesus comes as the Word made flesh. He's not known, John tells us at the beginning of his Gospel. He comes to his own, and his own don't recognize him. His own don't receive him. But those who do receive him, those who do welcome him, those who welcome Jesus, the heavenly stranger, as a guest, to them he gives the authority to become children of God. They become adopted sons, and Jesus, the heavenly guest, Jesus, the heavenly stranger, becomes the host. The whole ministry of Jesus, the whole incarnation, the whole history of the Gospels can be seen under this rubric. The kingdom of God has come in the person of Jesus Christ, in the person of incarnate hospitality. He comes eating and drinking to join us in our eating and drinking and to welcome us into the hospitality of the life of God.